Brent crude prices were up by over 2% to $35 a barrel early on Tuesday after the top two oil producers in the world agreed to freeze output at the levels last seen in January this year. Russia and Saudi Arabia both say the deal is contingent, however, on other producers also agreeing to limit output. Iran, a key member of OPEC, however, did not take part in those discussions and, in fact, it's planning to ramp up shipments. The Saudi, Russian, Qatari and Venezuelan oil ministers all jointly agreed to take part in this action plan. The idea is to help prices recover from the lowest level in more than a decade. Oil prices have consistently fallen since June 2014, and that's put crude prices under pressure. In fact, it dropped them under $30 a barrel for the first time in over 10 years. This slump has been longer and deeper than anyone predicted, but the mood may be shifting among producers who are more determined to defend market share even if it came at the expense of prices.
First of all, in the meeting, we assessed supply and we assessed demand. And we recognize today that supply is going down because of the current prices. We also recognize that demand is on the rise. The reason we here agreed to a potential freeze of production is simply it is a beginning of a process which we will assess in the next few months and decide whether we need other steps to stabilize and improve the market. We don't want significant gyrations in prices. We don't want reduction in supply. We want to meet demand, and we want a stable oil price.
Let's head over to New York, where Chitra Nobat is live right now with more reactions from the markets. Chitra, exactly how will Qatar be monitoring this agreement? And let's assume everyone plays ball. What penalties will apply if either Russia or Saudi Arabia or any of the other countries doesn't stick to its output levels?
Rama, as you said, Qatar will lead monitoring of the output freeze agreement. And part of this is because it currently holds the rotating presidency of OPEC. Officials say it's still very early days and nothing concrete has been agreed. And so the details around implementation, penalties, and such matters, those are all still to be determined.
Indeed. Given that Iran is poised to add another, 500,000 barrels of crude a day of output into the market, does this deal really do anything at all to change the status quo?
That's what many experts are concerned about. They were hoping for a reduction in output and didn't get it. Analysts like Deutsche Bank say the negotiations gave little in terms of fundamental change. The talks moved from cuts to a freeze, but such a freeze will come from producers who weren't really expected to raise production materially anyway, such as Russia, Venezuela, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar. And Russia said the proposed freeze would only take effect if other producers participate also, but gave no indication of which countries would be required to join the agreement. Experts say for this agreement to carry more weight, it needs to include Iran and Iraq, who weren't a part of these negotiations.
Indeed. We'll have to leave it there for the time being. Thank you for that. That's Chitra live, of course, in New York. Fascinating developments, although at the end of the day, really, there's so many caveats attached to that deal, we're not quite sure if it actually works.